or are we looking too much forward towards the coffee already?
I have a question for the last two presenters. So what was it's already been presented, I guess, to the veterans themselves, right? Or not yet?
We've involved them throughout the whole process.
Yeah.
We do need to go back and actually show them the final thing. We finished it last Friday.
Oh.
So,
congrats.
that should all definitely be directed at Emma. I wouldn't even call myself the brains. I was like the person that was the lead on the project, but really this is Emma's.
So throughout the entire project, throughout the grey boxing and everything, we kind of kept showing it to the veterans. They've played it when it was just like simply picking up cubes and hearing the voices. But yeah, we need to show them the final product.
It must be very exciting to try and to do that soon then.
Yes.
Just as a general comment, I think it's a wonderful idea that you ended up focusing on something that's probably also very personal to them and very positive and yeah, not the idea of the trench or the warfare and something else that is there. I think it's very nice, out of the box, haha, thinking.
That's why Emma's so good at these things.
Any general questions for the entire group?
General question?
Yeah. Okay. I got blinded by light, that's my excuse.
Hi, I was wondering if you had any feedback from players and if there were things they liked about the game and they didn't like.
Well, yes, obviously it started till May, so we have some feedbacks, obviously also during the presentation, because we've been in many of the museums, we have collected photographs and people came, and many of them had already downloaded and started playing, and they were very excited and interested also because in Italy Etruscan is a civilization which is very fascinating, as I was saying before, because there are many mysteries around it, around them. People which are not specialists think that we don't know exactly where they come from. Their writing is not very well known, so they're very interested in this civilization, so they are very also interested in playing and in knowing many things through the video game.
Okay, great, thanks.
I think we can quickly extend that question to the rest of the group. What has been the response from the people on Twitch or the visitors to the museums and the veterans or relatives? And if we can keep that a little bit short, then we still have time for some coffee. You've already answered the question, so that's easy.
Yeah, we don't have that many viewers.
So everyone just please follow us. And
I will be honest. No, but there are some people, and there are some people in the room who've been watching, and for the most part, there seems, for the people who are actually watching and engaging in the discussion, it seems to be quite interesting to follow like this more in-depth discussion and analysis on all sorts of different aspects, both in terms of gameplay, but also mostly content and history and archaeology-wise. I'm not sure if the format that we're doing it eventually is the best way to do such a study, like streaming 30 hours of gameplay and then have people go through it and listen to the discussions. Maybe it's not, but we are still exploring it. So maybe we'll change the format at some point or keep doing it with another game. We'll see.
So like, follow, and subscribe.
Like, follow, and subscribe. Yes. Twitch.tv/valuefnd.
Click the bell icon.
Well, we haven't started yet, but we, of course, already had some talks with our visual disability people. And the first question that came from them is, does it work on Apple? Because people who are visually impaired are usually Apple users. So the first feedback we got is, does it really work? Does it work on Apple? Is Beacons really the best technology for it? And yeah, I can say in maybe half a year, because until then we have to try out really a lot of stuff.
Looking forward to the update.
During our second co-design session, we had like the children from a local high school play it, and also a veteran who's maybe like 80-something, and he picked it up straight away, which was really cool. But also, because it's coming up to Remembrance Day, like the Lady Hague factory was on the news recently, and then I got my dad to play it a few days ago, and he was like, oh wait, this is the factory where they make the poppies. So it was really cool that he instantly recognized it.
I got to say, that veteran that picked it up the second time, the first time we got him to put on a headset, just a VR headset, and we just wanted a photo of him wearing a headset, and he was really enthusiastic about what he was doing. It was just not switched on. So you know, sometimes your testing has to be a little bit more rigorous. But I loved his enthusiasm. You know, I think one of the things that's been totally revealing is getting kids, students to speak to veterans, and we kind of think that the history of the conflict is what veterans, you know, really associate with, but actually it's the time in service and the things that they did. I think Emma's going to put the rest of the video up on Twitter, but it's worth, you know, they've done so many amazing things, and the stories that they tell, and also the stories that they don't want to tell. So they'll tell you on the condition that they're not being recorded. And it's crazy things, like, you know, like in the 80s when, you know, they were stationed in Belize, they would drive 400 miles to Cancun, you know, to go to the beach. And you're thinking there must be a beach nearer than 400 miles, but equally they would go to El Salvador, and they happened to be there when it was, you know, one of the overthrowings of the government, and it's this kind of nonchalance of they were young and they didn't realize what they were seeing, and I think that's what's important, recording these types of events. And I feel our project completely changed direction, but actually was far more beneficial. So
Thank you. Round of applause for our talkers. Thank you for a great first session.